What's going on, guys? Welcome back to All MMA. Today we're back with another fight night. There seems to be loads of these recently. I swear there used to be more pay-per-views back to back, but it does seem like they're just doing them by month, which is fine. I think it was always like that. For some reason I just never really realised it. But yeah, we're doing my predictions for UFC Fight Night. Sterling versus Zalal. We'll see what I pick. I think this card's decent. Let's get straight into it. So getting started on the card, you have this first fight here, but a new thing I'm going to do so I don't spend so much time yapping about stuff that I just don't know is I'm going to pick every single fight, but on my live stream. You'll see my predictions on the live stream, on the little picture thing I do on the fight companions. I do them every single card. You'll see that. So I won't just go through picking these fights down here because I just don't know enough. So I'll just let you wait to the fight companions to see what I pick, and I'll just go through fights that I think are interesting, that I know bits about, because I'm a casual. But yeah, let's get started. These two fights here, these first two fights on the card, they're getting skipped. I don't really know. I'll just pick one. It'll be on the video, like I said. Right, Francis Marshall versus Lucas Brennan. Luke Brennan making his UFC debut. I'm pretty sure it's not from Contender Series or Ultimate Fighter or anything like that. I think he's just making his debut. Seems to be a lot of fighters doing that recently. I have no problem with it. That's how you sign talent, I guess. Probably from a different promotion like LFA or something like that. Outside of the UFC. Maybe Cage Warriors, I don't know. But Francis Marshall, he had a good performance in his last fight. I'm pretty sure he got a finish, maybe a submission over some Brazilian fighter. Again, I'm trying not to be a casual. I'm trying to use my thinking head. There's a Brendan list somewhere of who he beat, but I can't remember. It's a Brazilian guy. I know that's for sure. I'm pretty sure. Beating quickly. I think it was a first round stoppage against an older Brazilian guy. I'm trying to work his name out in my head right now. Yeah, I can't really remember. But yeah, we'll just move on. We'll go Francis Marshall to win. He's got the UFC experience. I'll say submission round one again. I don't know if Lucas Brennan, isn't this the two people comparing looks like Tony Ferguson a bit? He might be. The pictures I haven't updated on it yet because I do these early in the week. Some YouTubers, they'll be fully updated, but I like getting these out early so I can get other videos out. I've got a Pico video coming out for Aaron Pico. Me just kind of talking about how he's not that good. A lot of people will argue with me about that, which we can debate in the comments when that video comes out. Right, moving on. Rafael Filho versus Cody Durden. This is a very short notice fight, 6 days notice for Durden. I don't know who Filho was going to fight before. I don't know. But Cody Durden's been losing a lot recently, I'm pretty sure. Not the youngest either. I don't know if either of these guys are the youngest. They both look unk. Did Rafael Filho lose his last fight too? Maybe it's an Australian guy. I've been rewatching some more videos and just noticing that I've been getting information completely wrong, which is just my bad, but it is what it is. Probably will go with Filho on this one. I'm not sure. I think he's decent. I think both these fights are decent. I think it'll be a really good fight. Yeah, I think Filho will just win a decision. 29-28. Or it could be a draw. There seems to be a ton of those on the cards recently. So there's been one back-to-back. Maybe to back-to-back-to-back. There's been just tons of draws. These judges don't know what they're doing, I swear. I say just do another round if it goes to a draw. Yep, there's another fight here I just don't know about. You'll see my pick on the video. Ooh, Jackson McVeigh versus Cedricus Dumas. Both these guys aren't amazing. I do like Jackson McVeigh, though. I think he was a good addition to the UFC roster. I do think he's got a good skill set. He was beating, an Edmund Shabazian type? I can't remember who it was fully. I know, I can literally see him. I don't know who it fully was, but, I think he was doing pretty well in that fight. I think got taken down and submitted, I want to say. And Cedricus Dumas lost to, I think he's done a couple of losses in a row now. He lost to that short dude, Dante Johnson. Maybe he lost to him last, I think. But yeah, in this fight, I might go with Jackson McVeigh. The UFC Jesus, I might go with him. I don't know, that dude looks like Jesus. Will this be one of those fights that both the guys are equally not bad? Because obviously, you're not going to be in the UFC if you're terrible. Equally as, not amazing. And might just take it to, a fun fight of the night type decision. Where they're just, wailing on each other back to back to back to back. That could be pretty fun. Or it might just be a quick slime out for one of them. I'll say Jackson McVeigh by decision. Close decision. Oh, this fight. Rodolfo Vieira versus Eric McConaughey. Please I said that right. Both coming off getting slimed out at UFC 322. Bison got Suzakayev. Nasty, kind of funny, cartoonish knockout. How he knocked out this Eric guy here. And then Rodolfo Vieira got head kicked by Bo Nickel. That was such an improved Bo Nickel in that fight. Impressed to see what he does against Cal Daukaus. Should be a fun fight there. Onto this fight. I'm pretty sure Vieira's a jiu-jitsu black belt maybe. Like a high-ranking jiu-jitsu guy. I don't really know much about McConaughey. I think he was just signed so Suzakayev could have an opponent that night. I really don't know how to pick. I might just go with Vieira since I'll trust him to get a submission finish. This will definitely be a different fight from the Bo Nickel fight. There's levels to this game of MMA. Bo Nickel's obviously pretty decent and he's just getting better and better. Not to glaze because I probably will pick Cal Daukaus in that fight. Yeah, I'll go with Rodolfo Vieira by submission in round 2. Let's say submission in round 2. He might find it difficult to take McConaughey down, but I don't know how good his takedown defense even was. But yeah, we'll go with submission in round 2 for Rodolfo Vieira. Alright, now on to this main card for the Aljo versus Zalal card. The original main event was Brady versus Buckley. That's been moved to 328. I wouldn't have minded which way around it was if Sterling Zalal was on that card and then Brady was still here. Brady Buckley was still on here. Yeah, it's a cool main event. I like Aljamain Sterling. He's actually grown on me a lot as a fighter. He's been liking some more stuff on Twitter before as well. Shout out. I was going to say a terrible co-main event, but these two are very high-leveled women's MMA fighters. They're trying to push Jocelyn Edwards up. She's a great fighter, very entertaining. The last few wins have been finishes, I'm pretty sure. We'll get into that in a second. Rafa Garcia, the great ape, is back, I guess. David Grant, the GOAT. Barcelos is getting a slime out. And then Ryan Spann, Marcus Pacheco. I think I will go with Ryan Spann on this one. Ryan Superman Spann. You can see it on his chest there. Decent tattoo. I like Superman, I guess. I was going to start insulting it, but why would I do that? That's rude. Pacheco's a 5-2 and 5-2-1. Dude looks roided to the gills. How's well got a six-pack like that at that size? I swear it's 205, not heavyweight. I think Ryan Spann's come back. Oh, it's heavyweight. But this dude's on roids. He's not showing up like this at the weekend. Ryan Spann's 6'5". Somehow it's like Thomas Malonzo Dogan. Pacheco's Brazilian. Maybe he has jiu-jitsu. That's kind of being a bit. That's not racist, is it? Like Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's heavyweight, man. Either one of these guys can go down in a single punch. I think it'll be a pretty slow blob type fight. I've never seen Pacheco fight. I've seen a couple of Ryan Spann fights. I think he's been finished in a couple of fights I've seen. Doesn't he ever win over Dominic Reyes as well, maybe at light heavyweight? Like a kind of like a fluky win, I'm not sure though. Obviously the reach is in Spann's favour. He's much taller, obviously that's to be expected. Ryan Spann's not that good, but has he won his last fight at heavyweight? I just can't remember. I will go for Ryan Spann by like KO, TKO. Maybe in the first round just catches him. Unless Pacheco just takes him down and holds him for 3 rounds. But heavyweight's back, man. Heavyweight's been great. I think it was a great heavyweight fight on the Canada card last weekend. Yeah, sick cards, man. There've been 6 cards recently, I can't complain. Everyone was thinking that Canada card was going to be awful. And it wasn't, it was pretty good. We take those. Alright, man, so I've heard that Raoni Barcelos is an underdog going to this fight with Montel Jackson. That is the most stupid shit I've ever heard in my life. How is Barcelos an underdog after doing what he's done in the UFC so far? How can someone who lost to the corpse of Figueiredo be a favourite against Raoni Barcelos who's beating like an up-and-coming prospect like Talbot? He's beating like Ricky Simone. He's beating all these guys back to back at his age. Didn't he fight Cody Garbrandt and beat him as well? I mean, Montel Jackson's not great. I don't know why he's ranked. I don't know how he's ranked. I think Raoni Barcelos is finally getting in the rankings. He's been deserving it for a while. You know, like Peyton Talbot was above him for ragdolling to Hudo. Like, that's super impressive if you've seen that. I'll go with Raoni Barcelos, man. I think he's gonna finish Montel Jackson. If Figueiredo can be landing big punches on you, and then I think Raoni Barcelos is gonna hold him there. I think he's just beat him up. Potentially to get a TKO in round 3, the later rounds. Yeah, Raoni Barcelos wins this fight. Lock it in. I'm locking it in. Alright, the Unk from England, David Grant. That's the Fight Contender Series alumni. Adrian Luna Martinetti, what a long ass name. Let's do some Ecuador. How many UFC fighters are from Ecuador? They're both similar in stats. Obviously, 17-1, but who is he facing in the UFC? David Grant's coming off that loss to Charles Jourdain. Great, like flying knee. Charles Jourdain fought last weekend, got another win. So when it's a loss that's aging well. I think most of David Grant's losses have aged well. He's a good fighter, trains out of Syndicate, like with Marab and Aljo and some of the great fighters. I think I will go with David Grant. Bit of British bias coming in there, but I think David Grant's really good still, even though he's like late 30s. Martinetti guy might just come in and sweep up though, but you know, they're both the same height, same weight, obviously. The reach difference is 2 inches for Martinetti in terms of arm reach, but what does that matter? I think we're going to see an Unk Crafty Vet win here this weekend from David Grant. I think he's going to get back in the win column. Shout out David Grant, let's go! Rafa Garcia looks like he's like 50 years old, bro. What's happened there? And Alexander Hernandez. Has Hernandez fought since he beat Chase Hooper? Obviously, now that win's not aging too great based on the Lance Gibson Jr. fight that happened with Hooper. But yeah, this fight should be interesting. I don't really know the last few fights of these guys back to back. Rafa Garcia, I don't really know much about him, but 18-4 record's decent. 18-8 record's decent too. Man, losses don't really matter in MMA. You got like fan favourites like Oliveira with like 11 losses max. My favourite fighter, Max Holloway, 8 or 9 losses. Dustin Poirier ended his career with 13-10. I miss Dustin Poirier, man. Man, that sucks. Since I don't know Rafa Garcia, I'm going to say he's not that high level. I'm going to say Alexander Hernandez. He might be on the verge of breaking into the rankings at some point. Maybe next fight, the fight after will be rankings fight. I'll say Hernandez gets a KO in the early round 1 maybe. Alright, the co-main event, Norma Dumont versus Jocelyn Edwards. This should be one of the fights that I just circle and to put on the fight companion, but Jocelyn Edwards beat Norcano, I want to say. That was like a weird, crazy finish. Great job, though, to get that win. I don't know who Norma Dumont fought last, I can't lie. I don't really remember for some reason. I feel like I should, but I just don't. But I will go with Jocelyn Edwards to win this fight. That might be a crazy pick. Good win streak going right there. I think there's good momentum for Edwards. The only good Edwards in the UFC currently. Yeah, we'll go Jocelyn Edwards. Not much to say about this fight, so we'll just move on. The main event, Yusuf Zalal versus Aljamain Sterling. I said that in the wrong order, I don't care, let's keep going. Aljamain Sterling's obviously a former champion. Has like tied second most title defenses in the whole bantamweight history. Was once considered like the GOAT of bantamweight, I think. Obviously you have like Merab. I think Merab's number 1. Probably have like Dominic Cruz and Aljo tied second there. You're like Piotr Jan at third. Piotr Jan, man, I think he's going to defend his belt a couple of times. Unless Merab just locks in and beats him and gets his belt back. But yeah, Yusuf Zalal, he's had like a 5-fight win streak coming back to the UFC. Destroyed Josh Emmett in his last fight. Made him tap super quickly. People forget, man, this is the guy who fought Ilya Tavor in his debut. When Ilya was just first getting to the UFC. I think he went 3-3-1, I want to say, in his first one in the UFC. Yusuf Zalal. Obviously, he's coming back, made a good comeback. I also saw a thing like in like 2023, he did like a kickboxing, a Muay Thai, and an MMA fight back to back in one night and won them all. That's what got him back in the UFC. Now on a 5-fight win streak. Both these guys possibly close to title shots. I think Sterling more than Zalal though. Sterling's like ranked 6, I want to say. Maybe ranked 5 or 6. He's done a good job making his way up the division since starting at featherweight. I don't know when. Maybe it was Calvin Kate fight at 300. Maybe I had one before that. I don't really remember. But I think that's a good career move. I think more fighters should do that when they get later on in the careers. Maybe like just out of the prime decision, move up a weight class. You see Max Holloway do it. He's had some success up at lightweight. Paulo Costa, one of the biggest examples right now, went up from middleweight to light heavyweight. Beat an undefeated guy. Just destroyed him. This is some lighter man skill shit mixed with you getting old and going up in weight. More fighters should do it, in my opinion. Obviously more healthy for you. You don't have to cut that much weight anymore. And obviously you're still big. You get naturally bigger as you get older, in my opinion, I think. I don't think it's an opinion. But yeah, I'm going to go with Aljamain Sterling. Not a surprise. I mentioned at the start he's one of my favourite fighters. He's probably in my top 15 to 20 favourite fighters. I like the guy. A lot of people seem to have an issue with him. Why? Just behave. Just grow up. He's a grown-ass man. You don't have to dislike him. But yeah, I think he's very good. Obviously beat up Ortega. Obviously Ortega had the rough weight cut or whatever. But yeah, he still beat him up. Nasty spinning elbow landed on him. That's sick. Only guy last year to not get a KO with it. I think it did more damage to his arm than Ortega's head. People are saying that Yusuf Zalal's going to submit Sterling. Not happening, bro. If anything, it's going to be the other way around. Sterling's a cleaner striker, cleaner boxer, cleaner leg kicker, cleaner at keeping his range. Despite him being shorter, despite him having the reach disadvantage by an inch in the arms. Yeah, I think Sterling's going to be able to outclass him everywhere. Obviously, probably not TKO KO, but I think a sub is likely. Or just like a clean 49-46 decision. 50-45. Maybe some fouls in there, 50-44. Yeah, he lands more over minutes. Significant strikes, he landed more. So yeah, I'm going to go with Aljamain Sterling to win this fight. Either by submission, around the middle of the fight. Maybe Zalal gets tired. I don't know how far Zalal's gone in his run back to the UFC. Maybe he's gone to decision a couple of times. But has he gone 5 rounds yet? I don't think so. But Aljamain has that 5-round experience. He's got quite a few decisions on his record. I think he's going to use that to his advantage and get the win over Yusuf Zalal. Aljamain Sterling, submission in round 3 or a 49-46 decision. That's going to be my pick. Thank you guys for watching my picks for UFC Fight Night, Aljo versus Zalal. I think Aljo's going to win. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win. I've got other videos coming out this week, like a video on Aaron Pico, which I will work on, release at some point this week. Obviously, going to get the compilation of all the finishes that happened on this card. There was one for the Canada card. Watch it, check it out, please. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe. I'll see you at the Fight Companion on Saturday. Peace!